Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnu Vad Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Ashtottara Satasusima. This Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Shiva Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Hri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Gaura Krishna Gopinath Chamakundara Ki Giri Govardhan Ki Gangamai Jamunamai Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sambhavita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Gaura Premanandi. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Yes. Sorry about the interruption in Prem John. Young Prabhuji here came over. It's 23. Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text 23, not 22. 23. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Regarding the song Jai Radha Madhava, one time Srila Prabhupada said that he said everything is in that song. Everything is in that song. The entire Vrindavan is in that song. So whatever you visualize from the Vrindavan pastimes is possible within that song. Such a beautiful song. That's why Prabhupada sang it every day or every class. I think, were you here, Prana? I was describing someone was, I went to a concert, kirtan concert, see what they had on offer, 50 quid a ticket. I didn't pay. But the singer started singing Jai Radha Madhava Kunja. I said, "You've stolen our song." And I looked behind me, 800 people were singing along. Beautiful song. Right, we got the verse? Verse is up, okay. Ekona vimshe vimshati me Ekona vimshe vimshati me Ekona vimshe vimshati me Krishnishu prapya janmani Krishnishu prapya janmani Krishnishu prapya janmani Krishna iti bhuvo Rama Krishna iti bhuvo Rama Krishna iti bhuvo Bhagavan aharad Varam Bhagavan Aharat Varam. Excuse me, it's not Varam, it's Varam. Bhagavan Aharat Varam. Ikona Vimshe Vimshaktime Vrishnishu Prapya Janmani Ramakrishna Viti Bhuvo Bhagavan Aharat Varam Ikona Vimshe Vimshatime. Oh, Ikona Vimshe Vimshaktime. Ikona Vimshe Vishaktime Vrishnishu Prapya Janmani Ramakrishna Viti Bhuvo Bhagavan Aharat Varam. Ladies. Ikona Vimshe in the 19th. Vimshatime in the 20th also. Vrishnishu in the Vrishni dynasty. Prapya having obtained. Janmani births. Rama, Balarama, Krishna, Shri Krishna. Iti thus the Lord of the world. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Aharat, removed. Varam, burden. In the 19th and 20th incarnations, the Lord adventured himself with Lord Balarama. In the 19th and 20th incarnations, the Lord adventured himself as Lord and the family of Krishna. Then you remove the burden. Chief Prophet writes, this will be the Krishna talking this verse that we say before as I was born in the darkest of fields, Janandina Shalaka, Anjali, Shalaka, split. You have to wait. Keeps the eye so here we read the expansion of Krishna, the incarnation of Krishna, Krishna's incarnation. All of it. Otherwise, you might wonder, as it says, they can have been shaped initial to me. Incarnations, list of incarnations. This is what we say. Yadaya Daya, Sir, come. Uplift the silence by removing burdens of the earth. Now we are of the conviction that Srimad Bhagavatam is many thousands of years old. But sometimes people want the Srimad Bhagavatam to be written by someone called Gopi to provide to the century.
Such people make those claims. They discover Greek coins, two Greek coins, Not even Indian coins, but Greek coins from 180 BC. 180 BC. You know that because the king's head is on it. But on the other side of the coin is Balarama Sankarshan, and on the other coin is Vasudeva Krishna. Now, I ask you, could there be more clear historical evidence that the Srimad Bhagavatam does not go back to the 5th century? Now, this is a little nugget of information that you don't need to know. But put it in your pocket, and in your faithless moments, you may take it out and look at it. And remember that I said it. Because sometimes the world can be the burden on your shoulders. And it's the burden of the non-theists, who weighs the theists down and challenges us. So when we pray to Balarama, we often pray for faith. Faith is something, God says, is something sublime. Faith is something sublime. But what it is, it's an unflinching trust. Unflinching trust in something sublime. It's invisible. Proper prana can't put it in a bucket. You can't cut it down in the field. It's not like Japanese knotweed. With Japanese knotweed, you know where it is. You know. But lack of faith, where is it? Well, I read in the book that said faith is in the heart, or lack of faith is in the heart. You've got to cut out the weeds. Or, where are the weeds? Is it the physical heart? Could a heart surgeon get those weeds and cut them down? Could Jayananda cut those weeds down in the stream? In the bottom fields? Just mentioned you by name. Could he cut those weeds down? Is it something that's very subtle? So in Krishna consciousness, we deal with the practical. We deal with the practical. But at the same time, we're dealing with something so subtle that you might miss it. As Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is so subtle that you might miss it. And therefore Prabhupada was always, in one sense he was always nitpicking, you could say. The Guru was always nitpicking. We didn't do that right. We didn't do that right. We didn't do that right. And sometimes people would say, this is the burden. The Guru is nitpicking, the Guru is correcting, the Guru is chastising. This is the nitpicking. I want to join a spiritual movement where nobody tells me what to do. That's great. Go start one. You go start that movement, and no one will ever tell you what to do. The genuine spiritual movement, people are always nitpicking. So you've got to be prepared. Because until you're perfect, someone will say, this is crooked, that's not right, you didn't say that right, you didn't do this right. That is there all the way up. Believe me, I've been recipient of 50 years of nitpicking. Big monkey picks the nits from a small monkey. And I've always been a small monkey in the tree, in the ISKCON tree. So, for instance, one devotee was trying to arrange stereo. He was trying to get the stereo back. Prana was putting the plug there. This devotee, I believe it was Hari Page, was trying to organize the sound system in Prabhupada's room. But there was stereo means 2 channels. Nice like kirtan through 2 channels. In the old days when it was a novelty, we got that for Prabhupada's room. And Harikesh said to Prabhupada, he said, well, 2 channels aren't working, so I've merged them into one. And he got as far as the word merged. Prabhupada gave him an hour lecture. But the soul never merges. You see, Prabhupada's picking up on the slightest hint. It's called nipping it in the bud. If you see a Japanese knotweed, but it's that big, what do you do? No. You dynamite it.
Really?
You take it out. Because if you don't take it out, it's going to overcome the whole thing. So the greatest weed, we have various weeds, but one is karma, the idea that I can perform bhakti yoga for my sense of satisfaction, or for my profit, or my adoration, distinction, riches, wealth, fame, whatever it is. Some other motivation, other than pure devotional service. The other one is that I'm tired of all this fame, money, adoration, riches that I've never had. but I've heard it's a bad thing. I agree with that. So I don't want any of that. I'm going to be more humble than the humblest humble person in all of the Hare Krishna movement. You don't find anybody more humble than me. There's a breakaway group from ISKCON. There's many breakaway groups from ISKCON. Because ISKCON has a good reputation. It's established, it's successful. These devotees thought that they would form a breakaway group. The brahmacharis all fought brahmacharis. They don't dress in coaches. They don't dress in dodges. They don't dress in curtains. But during the summer months, you'll see them doing Harinam and gomchas. Orange gomchas, bare-chested, bare-legged. It's in Russia. There are many breakaway groups in Russia. So you have an option. There's many things to join. But this is the nitpicking organization. Just like this morning, forgive me, but you were singing Jai Prabhupada, and then Jai Gurudev. Well, in March 1977, Prabhupada said, don't sing that. Because Gurudev means an impersonal Gurudev. Prabhupada is his personal name. So Gurudev means any Gurudev. He said, don't sing that. You can sing Gurudev first, and then Prabhupada after. Which is good, not Gurudev after. It's a very small thing, and I shouldn't be saying. He's saying thank you. But Prabhupada seized on any hint of impersonalism. Generic Gurudev, no, we don't do that. It's specific, the name of the Guru. And so we're glorifying Prabhupada. So I just thought I'd mention it. Not to correct you, but just to bring it to light how in our movement there is sufficient emphasis on correcting even the small details, because we want to get it right. We only have one life. This time now, we only have one life. So it's a good job to get it right. So the spiritual master is a manifestation of Lord Balarama. Lord Balarama is a manifestation of devotional service to Krishna. And so the Guru is always shaping, crouching, like I said yesterday. One hand in the metal, and the other hand the hammer. So it has to be tap, 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 tap. So little changes. We bring about little changes, and it establishes our faith. And you may go through all those little things that the Guru or his representative tells you to do. You may go through them and you say, well, that's not so important, is it? That's not such an important detail. It's not such an important detail, that's true. When you add up all the details. Like the man who went shopping, remember? The man went shopping for his wife to buy ghee. He came back with water. He went to the ghee seller, and the ghee seller said, my ghee boils so fine it runs like oil. He said, oh, buy oil. He went to the oil seller, and the oil said, my oil is so fine it boils like water. So he bought water. His wife was very angry. So speculation all along, but this is something better. Let him completely out. And so sometimes it's like that with us. We don't know what is faith. And so we speculate. And just a little detail can make all the difference. In my times of faithlessness, and in 50 years you do, for one reason or another, you don't go to a day or a week or a month of faithlessness. You just feel that everything that you have believed about Krishna consciousness is somehow you've been deluding yourself, and everything is cracked up to be something like that. And sometimes it's just a little piece of information that set me back on course. A little correction here, a little correction there. So we should be grateful when we're corrected. Grateful, because those corrections will set you on course. Prabhupada said I was on a ship crossing the Atlantic to New York. So the captain was steering by his compass. 1 degree difference on the ship's compass. Instead of landing in Boston, probably would have landed in Canada, which is okay from Canada, I suppose. But the entire history of our movement would be completely different. Maybe it wouldn't be so much different. It's not where you wanted to go. So 1 degree of difference in the compass. So the idea of an ashram is that 1 degree error is minimized to 0 degrees. That's why everybody's always nitpicking you. So please be tolerant. When I was a young lad, the Sankirtan leader sent me to buy some butter. I went out to get some butter. And I came back with, anchor butter, 4 packs of anchor butter. Well, we like butter in those days. It was our only sense gratification. I love butter in the subject, and butter on the dates, and butter with butter, and butter with rice. Yeah, I came back. Sanitary leader looked at the butter, looked at me, looked at the butter, the guy scowled, looked at me and said, "It's salted butter." I said, "Yeah, it is." He said, "Salted butter is demoniac." It was an ex-health angel said that this butter is demoniac. Take it back. So I was thinking, oh my God, what sort of organisation have I joined? Well, there was no organisation in those days. It wasn't really an organisation. There was a few people living in an old house. They lied to me. They told me that it was George Harrison's house. I quickly discovered that George Harrison didn't live there. He wasn't in the bushes singing My Sweet Lord. So these all small corrections are there. And as you see, I've remembered salted butter to demoniac for the rest of my life. 50 years later. So all little things. So Prabhupada's head is also called tiny, tiny little things. So when he tells you a tiny, tiny little thing, just remember, it's a 1 degree course change. You can add up to very big things. Now faith is something that's intangible. It is a trust that if I do this, I'll move forward. And when we have such a day as Balarama's Prince Day, we're thinking of 2 things. Well, I think of 2 things. One is faith in Krishna, absolute rock hard faith in Krishna, which is very important for us because if that disappears, you've got nothing left except rituals. You've got nothing left except a very strange wardrobe and a few packets of incense. That's all there is. And we do. Krishna says, I don't ask for much. A leaf of fruit, flower, water, a bit of incense, a bit of candle. You come away, you're not going to be rich. You're never going to be rich. What you come away with is a richness of heart. But if you lose your faith, there's nothing. And therefore it's something that we should always be worried that we can develop and worried that we hang on to. And even Prabhupada himself, one time he came in front of the deities, it might have been Los Angeles, his body's noticed that he was spending an extra long time praying to them. Usually Prabhupada would come, stand, watch, and on the second verse of the Brahma Samhita, Prabhupada would bow down, come down, as we do. So this one time he was spending extra time praying with the bodies afterwards in the room. So Srila Prabhupada, we have a question, I hope you don't mind. And he said, what were you praying for? Now the day before, Prabhupada had given a talk, as he did every morning, given a lecture, that the pure devotee has supreme faith in Krishna. Pure devotee means you have absolute faith in Krishna and protect him under all circumstances. Faith of Prahlad Maharaj, faith of pure God, rock solid faith that no matter what comes, Krishna is my only shelter, Krishna is my friend, Krishna is my protector, Krishna is my maintainer. Rock solid faith. One time, Prabhupada was surrounded by sannyasis, all the dandas, how it is these festival occasions in Mayapur and Vrindavan, they were surrounded by all these fresh-faced young sannyasis at the time, forest of dandas. And he was in Vrindavan and these pillars in the temple. He said, so do you have faith? He looked at everybody's face. Do you have faith? Are you convinced? Are you convinced in Krishna? Do you have any doubts? And he said, if one of these pillars started to break, would you still have faith? He was testing. This is the unshakable faith that we're trying to aim for. So anyway, he said to give him this class today. He said, what were you praying? If you don't mind, I was asking. He said, I was simply praying that I do not fall down. I thought that was strange. Yesterday you said that the pure devotee is someone who doesn't fall down. So the pure devotee doesn't fall down because he's always praying that he will not fall down. He won't fall away. So faith, sometimes we think that faith is something that you have in the beginning, because we've all heard of the different stages up to praying and pure. It begins with shadow. It begins with faith. But it is not like an Apollo rocket, you know, the Saturn V rocket taking the Apollo mission up into space. That's my era, folks. Now it's late 1960s, the Apollo mission. Shows you how old we are. So the Saturn V rocket, the big thing about the Saturn V rocket wasn't like an Elon Musk rocket that comes back down to Earth very cleverly. This was jettisoned, this was kicked away, this was ejected. So the Saturn V rocket has a first stage, which is like that. The second stage, which is like that. First stage is filled with fuel, and it gets the payload out of the Earth's orbit. You have to have a lot of thrust for that. But when that's finished, it's empty. You don't want to take this dead weight. It's just an empty fuel tank. So there's a little hinge, and it just trips away. So sometimes, mistakenly, you think, okay, prema is the goal, that's the moon. I'm a rocket. And stage one of that journey is faith. Okay? Don't have faith now because I'm running in the ashram. No one into faith because, I did that the day I walked into the ashram. Now I can just concentrate on Anartha Nibriti. What is Anartha Nibriti? Well, removing all the inauspicious things in the heart if it is not struggling with faith. So Rupa Goswami divides faith into Shraddha. He divides into, so the first stage of Shraddha is a curiosity in Shastra, an attraction for hearing the messages, the sadhus. That's the first stage. And the second stage of faith goes all the way through to Bhava. Why? Because you were always struggling until prema is met. So the point here is that faith is incredibly important. And on a day like today, certainly in India they'll be doing Upakarma. Upakarma means changing the Brahman threads, praying for protection, praying for faith in the year to come. It's the beginning of the school term. So this is what Prabhupada says about faith. I thought this would be interesting given that we've been talking about Balarama and the rock solid faith of Balarama. Have you ever been in a very dangerous situation? It's hard to pray to Krishna, isn't it? Have you ever been really paralyzed by gut fear? I was in Africa once, coming home at midnight, and we heard that there were these bandits on the road. In Africa, bandits don't mess around. Even the main city of Nairobi in Kenya. If you have your hand outside the window is wide, you stop the stoplight, they'll cut your hand off to get your watch. They don't mess around. So what to speak of at midnight on a dark country road. Anyway, sure enough, there was bumps in the road and overhead. We saw all these characters carrying weapons. My stomach just went, yeah. What was my stomach? Yeah. And at that moment, to Krishna. Very difficult. Because fear grabs the mind, and fear just blocks out anything else that you know you should do. Isn't you ever been in a situation like that? Feel paralyzed with fear. Very hard, isn't it? It's sort of the deer in the headlights moment. Yeah. It's difficult to even Krishna at that time. It's a bit like when you have one of these night terrors, you know, and the incubus comes and sits on your chest. You can't speak. But you want to say Krishna because you know that's the thing you should do, so you just go. Like a dentist surgery. Anyway, times of great crisis, return to Krishna. So, this fearlessness is one of the symptoms of the divine qualities of a person. And Krishna mentions in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, fearlessness is a preserve of those who have divine qualities. And fearfulness is a preserve of those who have divine qualities. So, no salted butter. We just had a joke about salted butter for the king. I'm not laying down the law, I'm just okay. So we have that. So the story that we've been reading about Prahlad Maharaj is a first class example of having faith in the divine protection. These two things, faith and faith that Krishna will remove in the pureness from protection, particularly on Balarama's appearance. So Prabhupada refers to faith. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kali Sudrida Nishchoy Krishna Bhakti Kale Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. By rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith, favorable to the discharge of devotional service, is called Shraddha. So, one word which Prabhupada uses, it's an English word, but we don't hear it used very much these days, is misgivings. Misgivings. You never hear that word now, misgivings. It's an old Victorian word, but it means regret or thoughts that I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So, initial faith, Rupa Goswami describes as a curiosity. But this type of faith, where you have no misgivings about the path that you've taken to, that's a more difficult type of faith to take to. So, that lack of faith sometimes arises when we look back on the choices that we've made. We are the sum total of all the choices that we've made, of course. Every choice that you've ever made has brought you to this point. And sometimes, we reach a point in life where you think, well, I gave up my motorbike, I gave up all my albums, I gave up my girlfriend and my boyfriend, I gave up my house, I gave up my future, I gave up my education, I gave up my car, I gave up my trousers, I gave up everything to join this movement. And what did I receive in return? Just somebody nitpicking me. We've had a whole section about nitpicking and why the Guru has to correct. Death of 1,000 cuts. The life of 1,000 corrections. So sometimes the mind works in a way that you look back over your life and you think, I gave up so much for Krishna. When does Krishna begin to give it to me? Everything that I was promised. When does that start to come? You may find yourself with what Prabhupada calls misgivings. So that's when the lack of faith has to be adjusted. You have to remember everything that we received. You see, there's always darkness before the dawn. And it's interesting. Sometimes that thinking like that is just what comes before a new burst of faith, a new burst of acknowledgement, a new revelation from Krishna that you're on the right track. So the reason I'm doing this is because we all get from time to time beleaguered by the crisis of faith. And that's why we need to realize that we're on a journey of faith. Instead of a journey of ecstasies, sometimes it's a journey of faith. To look at it that way. And that every day we have to pray. Today we pray to Balarama. Yesterday we prayed to Kripomoya Dasa. Tomorrow we pray to God in time, mindful treasure. The gift of faith is a very precious gift. So here's what Prabhupada says. I shall do as you say, Krishna says. Yes, Krishna can make anything possible. That faith we must maintain. That is the basic. That has been explained by Krishna Dasa Goswami. What is faith? Faith means complete conviction. Shada Shabde Vishvasa Kali Sudra Vishwa. That is faith, Vishvasa. If I say something and you believe it, 100%, that is called faith. Not that, well, it may be. No. So Shada Shabde Vishvasa. Vishvasa means faith. How? What kind of faith? Firm faith, without any doubt. Unflinching faith, unshakable faith, with strong conviction. That is the beginning of our life devotion. We okay with this reading? Yeah. Well, one has got faith, he must have necessary activities. Otherwise, what kind of faith it is? Just like if I say to you, I have faith in you, but I don't trust you. What kind of faith have I got? If I say, my dear friend, I have faith in you, and you want me to do something, and I don't do it, then if I say, how can I do it? Then what kind of faith that is? So this sort of faith is not required. Faith means real faith. So whenever there is real faith, there is activity also. You understand? Because faith expresses itself in action. When there is real Krishna consciousness, God consciousness, then there is activities for pleasing the Lord. Simply I believe in God, simply for exacting things from God. That is a different type of faith. That is the lowest stage. Just like a small child. He has got faith, but a learned, educated child, he's got different faith. Oh, my father and my mother, they've done so much for us. He wants to repay. You see what Prabhupada is saying? The lowest type of faith is, I believe in God. I believe in God because he gives me courage, he lifts me up, gives me hope. And then the list of qualities we might possess. God has given me these things. That's also faith. In a world of faithlessness, we should cherish a person who says, no, I have faith in God. The Prophet says it's the lowest type of faith, because someone who has more faith who says, what can I do for God? How can I repay? This is also faith. God give us our daily bread, but somebody else is trying how to please God. That's from Montreal in 1968. Religions all have faith, but that is, of course, beginning. It is nice, but because they are trapped in the rituals, they have no other further knowledge. So that also cannot help to reach because they are trapped. Every religious faith, because of course that conviction must be there, but they do not try to make any further advancement. They think, here it is ended. This is an interesting point, that our movement for Krishna consciousness often picks people up who were faithful in their last life, and this is a continuation of the last life. And according to your last life, you have a certain level of faith. You come again back to that level of faith when you adopt the practices of Bhakti Yoga. Then there's a tendency to stop. So it's Krishna consciousness is easy, until I get to where I was in the last life, and stop. Well, now it's difficult. So then the mind says, well, it was easy back then, what's changed? And you try to look out. Eyeballs try to look out. So, well, it's because of him, because of her, because of this, because of that. It's really you. Your bhakti is, you've reached where you were in the last life. Now you have to work. And that's the tough part. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I didn't know it to work. Yes, because the first few years of your bhakti, you've been purifying yourself to catch up. in your last life. See the point? And so we find, when I first came to the temple, I was looking around, some devotees looked happy and some devotees looked really miserable. And I thought, well, does the chanting of Hare Krishna actually work and give you happiness? The same chant would be happy. But this guy, he's been reading a book called Chanting the Miserable. Chanting the sad. I want to know that the process works. So this one was happy, he was working on his last life. Okay. And this one was working hard, he was working hard to move forward on that. Faith means acceptance. When you accept, then your faith begins. If you've got hesitation, then the faith has not begun, or is in a hazy state. And here's how the devotee thinks. God is putting me in distress. Still, I trust him. Or God is putting me in happiness. Still, I trust him. This is called faith. In any circumstances, the faith is not withdrawn. That is firm faith. Faith means that you are meant for giving some service to Krishna. You should stick to that service in spite of all impediments. That is the passing of the test. Generally, just like we are meant for preaching Krishna consciousness, so there may be severe tests, but still you shall remain determined. That is wanted. There may be so many impediments, punishment, still you should do that. You remember the time when Prabhupada was out distributing his back to Godhead newspapers, and he was gored by a bull. Bulls are the very symbols of Dharma. So how is it that Dharma, the bull on the street, when Prabhupada was giving the message of the Bhagavatam, how is it that Dharma, the bull, gored you, Prabhupada? What do you think? That Krishna doesn't want me to do this? He understood Krishna wants me to do this, but this is my test. When he translated all of the Bhagavad Gita, translated it all, and then the manuscript was stolen by some crazy fellow. And he had to retranslate the entire Bhagavad Gita from scratch. Now, what will that do to your faith? You spent ages translating everything from Sanskrit to English and writing prepared books. What will that do to your faith? It would really test it, wouldn't it? But a pure devotee thinks, no, this is just a test. Krishna's testing me. So he did it all again. Not as soon as there is some difficulty, I will give up. This is Prabhupada speaking in Tehran, in which the devotees will soon be tested. This was just a couple of years before the revolution in Tehran. Imagine being in Tehran. You have any conception of what it is to live in Tehran. I give a morning Bhagavatam class in Tehran on Zoom. And it was just, so lively, happy, and men sit on one side, the ladies sitting on the other side. But the ladies were all in whichever were black. Black. And sitting and listening to the Bhagavatam. If they get caught listening to the Bhagavatam, they go to prison. Just imagine the police who legitimately come, break up this class, and take Prabhupada Prime to prison and put him there for 2 years, just for sponsoring a Srimad Bhagavatam class. Imagine, how do you like that? You've been tested, you're sitting in prison and you're thinking, Krishna, I was just trying to do this for you. What do you think? Have you ever been in prison? You ever been put in jail? You ever been put in jail as a result of doing books? Yeah. Very testing, isn't it? Lord Krishna, what do you mean? I tried my best. Challenge to challenge. Yeah. One time I was in jail for Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, and half of Monday. I took everything, beads and anything usual. And I was just reciting verses. And I gave quite a few really good classes in that. Nobody was there. I think the Greeks all got liberated. I just thought it would be nice today to talk about faith and talk about protection. We need protection. We need physical protection, emotional protection. Because emotions sometimes get better because we need mental protection. We need also spiritual protection. So there's a few verses which I thought you might like. It's from the Garga Samhita. Garga Samhita. It's a nice verse. And it's nice physical. So drop on just like for a second. I thought you might like to do these in English. So this is a prayer. So all together with me. May Lord Balaram, who is the master of Goloka, who is the supreme controller, whose fame is spotless, protect me. May Lord Balaram, who on his head holds the earth as if it were a single mustard seed, protect me in this world. May Lord Balaram protect me when I am surrounded by many armies. Prosecution. May Lord Balaram who holds the plough always protect me in battle. May he who holds a club always protect me in many fortresses. May Lord Balaram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, protect me in the forest. May Lord Balaram who wears blue garments and who stop the Yamuna always protect me in fire. May he protect me in the wind. May he protect me in the sky. It's a good one for me. May he who is Lord Ananta himself always protect me in the great ocean. May Lord Balaram, who is Vasudev's son, protect me on mountains. May he who has 1,000 heads protect me in great disputes. May Rohini's son protect me from disease. May he fulfill my desires. Protect me from catastrophes. May the enemy of Dhenukasura always protect me from the donkey of lust. May he who killed Dravida the gorilla always protect me from anger. May the enemy of Balvala always protect me from greed. May the enemy of Jarasandha protect me from illusion. May the best of the Vrishnis always protect me at sunrise. May he who is the king of Mathura always protect me in the morning. May the friend of the Gopas protect me at midday. May he who is supremely independent always protect me in the afternoon. May the king of the serpents always protect me at sunset. May he who is greater than the greatest always protect me in the evening. May Lord Balaram, whose power is invincible, always protect me in the middle of the night. And may he always protect me at the sunrise. May the husband of Revati Protect me from every direction.
Protect me from every direction.
May the enemy of Pralambasura
May the enemy of Balarama
protect me from every direction.
protect me from every direction.
May the best of the Yadavas
May the best of the others
protect me from below.
protect me from above.
May he protect me from above.
May he protect me from above.
May he protect me from near and far.
May he protect me from everywhere.
May Lord Balaram protect me everywhere.
May Lord Balarama protect me everywhere.
May he protect me from within.
May he protect me from within.
May the king of the serpents protect me from without.
May the king of the serpents protect me.
May the supreme person residing in my heart
Supreme person residing in my
always
heart.
protect me.
Always protect me.
Know that these prayers are the best of all. You can say that, I guess. Know that these prayers
Know that these prayers
are armor,
are armor.
and that Lord Balaram is the best of armor.
Lord Balarama is the best of
He
armor.
destroys the fears of the demigods and demons.
Destroys the fears of the demigods.
This prayer is a blazing fire.
This prayer is a blazing fire.
It burns up the fuel of a host of sins.
And burns up the fuel of a host of
It
sins.
is the death of a host of obstacles.
The death of a host of obstacles.
It is the abode of spiritual perfection.
It is the abode of spiritual perfection.
Shri Balarama Ji Ki
Cha.
Jai. Time, my Shri
Cha.
Srila Prabhupada.
Cha.
Any points? This is
What you said, pure faith is, pure faith is knowing 100% Krishna will protect you in all circumstances. My question is it that Krishna protects you in all circumstances because you have 100% faith, or so if you have 50% then he protects 50%? Or is it that Krishna is always protecting 100%, but we're just not completely tuned into that?
How to estimate the percentage of faith that we have? Well, as we heard from Prabhupada, Krishna protects his devotees, but his devotee always feels in need of protection. So he's always praying for protection. In other words, people always thinks, I could fall away from my faith at any moment, I need to pray. This is the amazing thing. The person who has full faith in Krishna, that full faith in Krishna causes him to pray for his very weak faith to be strengthened and to be protected. It's a strange thing, isn't it? You would think that a person who has full faith in Krishna, rock solid faith in Krishna, would then say, I've got rock solid faith in Krishna, therefore I don't need to pray. I'm beyond that. I'm so beyond that. I'm way beyond that. I'm dancing with Krishna. Me and Krishna are just like this. But you don't. It's the very opposite. Very opposite. The person who's rock solid faith in Krishna thinks that she has no faith at all, and is therefore always praying for it. It's a curious paradox, isn't it? Curious paradox. And how to estimate how much faith we have? I guess you could say the more you pray for faith, it's a good indication of how much you have. Someone who's got no faith, they can be very noisy about it. How much faith they have. It says that religion is like a swimming pool. You know this example? Religion is like a swimming pool. All the noise comes from the shallow end. Remember, when people have no faith, they're not very deep. They tend to be very noisy. They tend to make claims that are not substantial, that can't be substantiated. So perhaps the pure devotee of Krishna, you might not notice them. So one time, somebody said to me, he was looking at a picture of Prabhupada in the back of the book. He said, Chant, be happy. So he doesn't look very happy. Why doesn't the Guru look happy all the time? He looks very pretty. The Prabhupada mood is supposed to be a mood of reverential prayer to Krishna. Always asking Okay. That's something more. I can see something more coming. Go for it. Go for the second.
Yeah.
Second question is to sort of enter the subject. Second, the first question is to enter the subject. Second question is goes deeper to clarification.
Well, thank you. Is Krishna actually always protecting everyone? But even non-devotees, but they're just not tuned into it. And pure faith is, like, does pure faith cause Krishna's protection?
Yeah, we may see sometimes that, well, this devotee had a car accident, obviously Krishna wasn't protecting him. And I say to that, we should have seen what happened without Krishna's protection. We should see the damage. And sometimes we see that people seem to be protected. Like in my day, there was a great train robber, Ronnie Boots, and he got away with a big robbery. We were trying to find him. For 30 years of escaped justice. And that causes some people to think that, well, I can do bad things and I'll never be caught, or I can escape. But we do not yet see what happens in the next life. I think at the beginning of the week I was telling you about, we used to distribute a lot of books, of course, and people used to write letters, and one chap he wrote to me and said, come to my place, visit me, I'm very interested in this sort of thing. And so when I got to his place, he arranged for me to sleep in a pyramid that he built in the back garden. So to sleep on the third of the pyramid and get charged for energy. Obviously, so in the morning, I went and slept in the pyramid in his garden. And in the morning we went over breakfast to the broken. He said, I was a soldier, and I was put in prison for something that I didn't do. I was court-martialed for didn't do it. As soon as I got out, it was several years, as soon as I got out, I went to India, because I wanted to, spiritual inquiries. In Bombay, I contacted an astrologer. And he didn't tell me anything about his date of birth. And the astrologer said, oh, at some point in your life you're going to be in prison for something you didn't do. So this man didn't tell him that it had already happened. So he said, could you tell me why that happened? He said, well, let me look at your last life. He said, oh, in your last life, you gave false evidence against someone. You told lies to get someone into trouble. And so, in this life, you have to pay back for that. So what we're seeing, when we see a non-devotee, we're seeing either the protection, the apparent protection, or the apparent victimization. Often the workings of karma. And when we see a devotee, as we know from Bhakti-Vinod, we see the gradual limitation of the actions of karma, and we see greater protection. This emblematic of this was devotee was, I remember a few years ago, there was a jihadist group called Luxury Tiger, and they invaded the Taj Hotel in Bombay. Many people died. And they were in a shopping centre just spraying machine gun fire. And one of our devotees in Bombay is a policeman, special policeman, with a gun. And so he moves out and he was trying to catch the bad guys. Well, not catch them, actually, but do something else and get rid of them. And then to look at away. So he's a devotee of Krishna. And he's they were there and they were shooting at him in the shopping centre. He hid behind a pillar. Hid behind a pillar. Remember that second? And then his phone went off when he was behind the pillar. Now being a good devotee, hiding behind the pillar, his ringtone on his phone, because he's a policeman in Baltimore Blackness. Namaste. So he's there. He's been sprayed with machine gun fire. He's hiding behind the pillar. His phone goes off. And the ringtone is the sugar face. So he's leaning up against the pillar and thinking, I am protected. And I thought it was just a humorous but very blissful moment. Now, the thing is, sometimes it's always not so poetic, it's not so prosaic. Sometimes Krishna's protection comes in an unseen way. But I thought that was a very good illustration of how ordinary devotees can take shelter of the Lord and do something dangerous now. So others may seem to be protected. They're running on stolen energy from the last life. Those who, so there's a gradual transition between last life and the life of devotee. It's like when we learn to drive, we tend to clutch, accelerator, clutch comes up, accelerator. You see, my British school of motion driver is it's like a sponge, treated like a sponge. Clutch, up, accelerator down, gradually at the same time. It's like that. You step into the world of devotion, the world of bhakti, and the clutch is releasing from a previous life and accelerators going forward. So there's a transition point. What do they call it? Bite point, biting point. So we may have reached the bite point, but we may have not. That's why sometimes people say, but I'm initiated, Krishna, Krishna should have come through for me. I'm an initiated devotee. Well, that's very good. It's very good that you're initiated, but now there's more. It's always the beginning. Today is always the beginning of the rest of your spiritual life. Today, always the rest. Always the rest. Okay, there was one other. Yes. We must get on because we could get ready for no breakfast. Probably sit in the beside him and breathe. Look at each other.
We're feasting on the nectar from you, brother. So I wanted to ask you, saying about faith, and could it also be the case that when one has faith, you might think they're protected, but actually they may be put deliberately into difficulty or harm to prove their faith to others? Is this something that can happen also?
Yes, you shouldn't put yourself in dangerous situations. We shouldn't make the Lord work for us, because that is placing ourselves in a situation where we're requesting Krishna to serve us, isn't it? You don't have to do completely dangerous things. Like, I'm a devotee, I go up in an airplane and I'm going, what's it called, free fall, parachute, diving, skydiving. Okay. And I say, well, I'm a devotee of Krishna. And there is a story about a woman who went skydiving and the chute didn't open, you know that? And she fell from, 2,500 feet, and she didn't die. No. She fell on a hill of ants, and the ants stung her so that her heart was flooded with this, whatever it is, the poison from the ants kept her heart going. I mean, you can't make that up. Just can't make that story up. Or maybe somebody did. But I read it on the internet, so it must be true. And in other circumstances, we see someone trips over a brick and dies, falling no higher than 5 feet. Sometimes you find a person falls from the 16th floor of a building on the way down, and lives. Some people trip over a cat and they die. So the devotee, hearing that somehow a person is protected in the most dangerous circumstances by falling from an airplane, should not then take off the parachute and say, well, if she was protected by God, because God is the ultimate power, so that person whose parachute didn't open must have been protected by Krishna. So Krishna will now do the same thing for me. So off comes the parachute and he jumps. That would be foolish, because it's asking Krishna to serve you. Isn't that an irony? Is that what you do? You can isn't it?
It's right, not to expect Krishna to serve you and to put yourself in
Yeah.
difficult situations.
Yeah. What did Papa say about deliberately placing himself in dangerous situations? More dangerous than actually needs to be for service.
Thanks.
No? I'm just trying to remember a story that someone put in sort of deliberately. Very, very dangerous situation. I just can't remember the story. Anyway, so looking, do we cover that?
Actually, the question was, it was to do with, doesn't Krishna sometimes put people into difficulty who have faith in order to prove their faith to other people? So, as opposed to somebody putting themselves deliberately into difficulty to prove Krishna's protection.
Yeah.
And you did tell a story about a person who's meditating and rather than put veil from to protect them from a tiger. And he was
Protecting from the sun.
was a son excuse me.
I got the story right. The time it came, that's one incident. The other incident was the veil. Yeah. So we should expect protection, but at the same time not force the Lord to have to deliver it to service. That's my thought on this morning. Catch me tomorrow. Catch me. And then we're finished.
You were explaining how sometimes devotees come in our moment and they are bringing like past impressions and past karmas from the previous lives.
Yeah, past gurus also.
So is it that do we become devotee because of the mercy of the spiritual master, mercy of Krishna, or we become devotee because of our karmas from the past life?
All of them. In Jayadharma, Dr. Vinod Thakur talks about that. It's a detailed subject. We have different kinds of sukriti that we perform. Unknowing actions of devotion, which when they are accumulated, cause us to become curious. That's Goswami's description. The first stage is a shraddha. The beginning of shraddha is a curiosity. What are these people doing? What are these people doing? But it may be something that displays us, the curiosity may display itself in a different way. It's like I had a friend who was a car thief. He was a car thief. That was his life. Thieving cars and so on. Changing the plates and so on. Not a very auspicious beginning. It's a spiritual life. But he stole one car, and he turned on the radio, expecting some Radio 1, music. And what he got was, "Oh, you are a thief. You are a thief. This whole world, you are stealing. You are stealing. You are a thief." Of course, it was a class byproduct, but just that moment, it said the words. He thought it was some sort of strange burglar alarm. As he stopped the car, looked around, he said it was sort of radio controlled or something. He looked under the driver's seat, and he found some collecting tins. It was Hare Krishna collecting tins. So he stole the money from the collecting tins and dropped the car back to where it was. Then he went to the temple. Then he became interested. Then his faith began. But it's the curiosity. And sometimes a person, the way they first come to the temple. Like I told the story the other day, that the person was wearing Dr. Martens, and his contribution to the Harinam party was to kick the last person in the Harinam. Just to kick them. Every day. Every day the Harinam party went by. He would then kick whoever was the last person, and then run away. And after so much time, did they catch him? When they caught him, they said, "Look, why don't you try and find out who we are?" sort of kicking, like, come on, I'll give you a free meal. And he was so touched by the king, and he became a devotee. Another devotee started his life. He was at a tall building. They were building the Jagannath Rath Yatra carts. He was having a party with his friends. They were throwing empty beer bottles out the window and smashing, see if he could get this smashing bottle close to the cart. The devotees were looking, just lobbing the beer bottles out. So he became a sannyasi. So the way that people come, the curiosity is often disguised as animosity. It's not always that when someone does something bad in the relationship with devotees, that we lack interest. Sometimes when people come and say, you guys, you just don't do anything, you just waste your time. The fact that they're engaging with you may suggest that there's actually a deeper curiosity problem. But a curiosity which has to be intellectually disguised, has to be disguised in some way, in order to make it easy for them to engage with you. The devotees are fascinating people. And it is my great pleasure to have spent a week with you fascinating people at the top of the hill. There are no fools at the top of this hill. I mean, Sumayya said, only the most intelligent people. So thank you very much for allowing me to be in your company and to mumble some of the stories and quotes that I can remember on a daily basis. You fed me, driven me, you bathed me, well, not quite. You provided the facility for my adequate sleeping and so thank you very much. This is my annual visit. I want to see you all again, hopefully soon, but if not, in the year 2021. In the year 2021. If I am still alive. I'll be back. Hare Krishna. Shri Balaram Ji ki jai. Developing our faith in the Lord ki jai.
Jai.
Asking for the Lord's protection at all times ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
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 So I'm devoting like to thank the Master for being here for the last 2 days. Thank you, Ishan. You'd like to thank him too, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's a servant to come and get the nectar, but he's getting the nectar another way. Sometimes devotees who never even met Sri Prabhupada, they served in separation and they're still serving in separation. It's not always simply just being physically close to the spiritual master, which is important. In fact, it's not that at all. There has some value because the Vapu inspires us to follow the Vani. The Episcopal Association inspires us to follow instruction. And although the spiritual master may be here today, and maybe think he's leaving today, then he stays with you with instruction. So keep that association through remembering his words. And look forward to coming back again and seeing you in other places than here as well. Sometimes we do go to one, we let them out of the house sometimes. Used to be told can I ever keep pigeons? Homing pigeon. Couldn't bother that we should be home, that couldn't bother, but now we're like to other places. Thank you again. It's so a pleasure having you here. Thanks for giving devotees some inspiration. And just to remember that remind devotees, although we celebrated Lord Balaram's Puja yesterday, we did fast, so we do fast today. The good news for those who don't like fasting is it's not till moonrise like it used to be. It's only till noon. It used to be moonrise, isn't it?
I don't remember it being one.
You don't remember being noon?
I always knew it was noon. We always knew it was noon.
Noon? Yeah, probably we were just like
Get some extra steroids. Fast to death today. I certainly remember it being when maybe they just read it when they read his glasses on that. Moonrise. Yeah, it's noon today anyway. Unless you're a volunteer, but the devotees best that they fast. It's not that far to go.
Please to those who volunteers. If you volunteer, you can volunteer service. Please volunteer.
You can guess it. So.
You're not going to be paid. So it's volunteers.
Yeah, the devotees are volunteers. So you can stay volunteering. Some of them are not volunteers. Swami Vivekananda
Jai. Jai.
Jai.
Jai.
Krishna Balarama ki
Jai.